emerging urban farming technology for vegetable production on the behalf of Center for Advanced Agriculture Science and Technology for Climate Smart Agriculture and Water Management, Mahatma Phule Krishi Vidyapit, Rahuri, Maharashtra. On this occasion, I would like to welcome today's eminent speaker, Mr. Murali Manohar, Managing Director from Farmtech Agriculture Consultant, Oman. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
And today's topic, cultivation of microgreens, herbs, and salad for urban garden and its management. And also, I would like to welcome Dr. J.S. Paspute Madam, Organizing Secretary of this training program and co-principal investigator of CAST project Subcampus Agriculture College, Pune. And I would like to welcome to Dr. Sunil Gorandiwar, sir, Principal Investigator of CAST project MPQ Rahuri and convener of this international online training program. And also I welcome to Dr. Mukund Shinde, sir, co-principal investigator CAST project MPKV Rahuri. And also welcome to all CAST members, farmers, participants, and research associate, and all faculties and also student, national and international institute of this training program attending. And also I would like to request to the today eminent speaker, Mr. Murali Manohar, sir. So we start to the session. Please start, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Mahesh. Thank you, the panel members, and welcome for all the participants who are attending today's session. Actually, the topic for today's session was is microgreens, herbs, and salads. As we all know, difficult times will create different thinking. So I think because of COVID now, people are all behind immunity, health consciousness, everything in that way. So that is creating a lot of other different opportunities also. At the same time, that is creating different health thinking all among the world. So in that way, per area, the growing of microgreens, herbs, and salads are playing a major role. We can see we'll divide the session into three: microgreens, salads, and then herbs. In that way. So, what are microgreens? Microgreens are like edible seedlings, no, and there is no exact defined varieties in microgreens, because most of the areas and most of the locations or countries have different concepts, but generally they are edible seedlings harvested at cotyledon or first true leaf stage, almost when it looks like a plant. I know they are different from sprouts, because sprouts are grown in jars, and they consume almost like full, including the roots. But edible, microgreens, we consume only the cotyledons or the first true leaf stage. Typically, it takes like 1 to 3 weeks until the harvest comes, and it is used mostly in soups, salads, smoothies, or any replacements for greens. Any replacement as greens. The different classifications, normally when we call it as sprouts, that they are germinated seeds with emerging roots. When we call microgreens, they are 2 to 3 inches in height, 7 to 21 days of harvesting period. They include like stems, cotyledons, and they include true leaves also. And the next stage is like baby greens. That is also used in many places, many areas, and that is 4 to 6 inches in height and 21 to 40 days. They will become like baby greens. And when it comes to total more than 6 inches in height and 40 to 60 days, we call it as mature greens. So that is how the stages of this goes. And there are shoots also. They are like, just bigger microgreens. There are, in some plants, we are using the shoots also, including in the microgreens, that they are having, they are just bigger microgreens. Grown on the same as, they are also grown on same as microgreens, but usually larger seed size of 3 to 5 inch. And crops that make good shoots are like, peas, sunflower, wheat, popcorn, nasturtium. To avoid confusion, they are often marketed as microgreens rather than shoots. Just a very narrow demarcation only between them. So in market, normally they are also marketed as microgreens only. They're not. There is not a specific shoot session, and they are normally they are also marketed as microgreens. Why we should grow microgreens? Actually, there is no need for people, especially like, when you are students, there is no rule like, you should be doing microgreens or herbs or salads in hydroponics or in like, I think any place, even a car parking area, even a small a free area which is near your kids' playground, everywhere, every area is now area for agriculture. So you can grow it anywhere. Okay, and even I used to think like, even the charity organizations, like, because nowadays like home associations, villa associations, flat associations, and everywhere, people are started utilizing the vacant lands and unproductive lands, everything for these kind of things. Even charity organizations can also think about doing farming in vacant or the wastelands, and so that, and then give food. So instead of only giving food, if they do farming and give food, it is like creating a job opportunity for the needy, plus supporting the food requirement also for the needy. So that will create, two opportunities. Instead of giving only the food, they can grow food in wastelands, and then they can supply to the needy. So it will create two opportunities. One is job opportunities, plus two, the food requirement of the people. So everywhere you can grow, wherever it is free land, whenever you get free time, because now food security is a very major important concern. So just grow it wherever it is possible. So why to grow microgreens? Before it was like fun, and it was like easy to grow, and it's a quick crop turnover, because it's like few weeks, like 1 week or maximum 10 days or 12 days, like that. So it's a quick turnover. So you get more excited when you do microgreens. When you compare to tomatoes, capsicums, in which you should be waiting 90 days for getting your result. Here you will get a very quick return of like a result of what you are doing. So you will get excited on that. And this can be produced year round. If you are growing it inside your house or maybe in enclosed areas, definitely it can be year round. Or if it is outside, there are some limitations, but still this can be grown year round. And nowadays, you saw if you go to any supermarkets or any, you can always see a big board or a banner like superfoods, ginger, turmeric, microgreens, and herbs, everything, salads, gives additional nutrients to human beings, are considered as superfood. So, superfood also. They are rich in phytonutrients and metabolites. Some studies shows that they are 4 to 6 times more nutrient dense concentrated than their mature counterpart. So sprouts and microgreens are like, their nutrient value is very higher when compared to their mature thing. So that means, you save time, get high nutrients, and you get a very faster crop now for rotation also.
Dr. Khamkar, you need to mute all others. Anitha from US, I think she is not muted.
And now coming to sprouts and microgreens, microgreens are not sprouts. Sprouts are grown in jars. Okay. Can I continue?
You're audible now. You're audible.
Yeah, audible now. Okay.
Yeah.
So sprouts are having, when we do sprouts, they will be eating roots, stem, cotyledon, and seed hulls, everything. But whereas in microgreens, only eating stem and leaves. When coming to microgreen seeds, same as their larger version, the seeds, we are using the normal seeds only for their larger version, but it needs a lot of seeds, like 5 to 25 pounds of seeds, pre-mixed blend for better uniformity. You can pre-mix it for better uniformity, untreated and ideally not tested for pathogens, because you are not going to treat anything, because you don't use treated seeds, unlike in other crops, because you will be using it in a week time. So don't use treated seeds for that. And best always buy good seeds from reputed agencies, because that should be pathogen free also. Then lot code packet, I mean, you can that all for record keeping, and just pre-soaking will help to get, especially for the larger seeds, to get good germination. Now, if you can see pre-soak it for 6 to 8 hours, for example, larger seeds like peas, sunflower, and all. So that will help to get a better germination percentage. Then also sanitize the seeds if pathogens are concerned or disease issue, especially for sunflower and all. The good microgreens, normally which are used, I mean, people are fast and easy items are like arugula, kale, radish, broccoli, mustard, broccoli, bok choy, then other Asian greens, cress, lettuce. I mean, these are the fast and easy growing microgreens. And more challenging types are like amaranth, beet, Swiss chard, cilantro, basil, dill, carrots, parsley. These are all like little bit different, difficult, but with a little care, you can do almost all these things. These are very simple to do, because microgreens are actually very simple to do. And as I said, since the results are very fast, you will get happy on doing this. You can do, if you are doing continuously, you can do germination, germination checking everything before you finalize one seed company. Any seed company, you can go for any seed company. I mean, Indian seed companies, European, or anywhere. But just try to, if you are continuously doing it, just try to do some test initially. Make sure which seed you want, which one is having customer preference, and then look for 80 to 95% germination at least. And if you are properly storing the seeds, microgreen seeds, it can even last up to 3 to 5 years. Seeding rates, when you do in a small area, even by volume, you can talk about 2 to 2.5 tablespoons for for large seeds, or 1 tablespoons for brassicas, equivalent of about 10 to 12 gram per tray, and on a normal way. But if it is just by your visual assessment, or if it is by weight, you can even go for like 3 gram per 100 ml and 1020 gram in holes trays, or 10 to 15 grams also if it is like medium-sized seeds, or if it is like big seeds, large seeds, go for like 25 gram per tray. For true leaf stage, if you want to make it like true leaf stage, bigger ones, always go for smaller, lower density to get it like true leaf stage. Always do a lot of trials and get the best variety, best items you want, and even you can do a lot of market market inquiries before, because there is a saying like always grow if you can sell. Especially when you do commercially, only grow if you can sell. That's a wording. So because since urban farming is like creating your own food plus additional income, that is what is called urban farming. So definitely you should be knowing your markets, which place. And if you are able to do a continuous production, you can even, nowadays technologies are very fast. You can even create your own WhatsApp groups, Facebook groups, whatever it is. So you will get a continuous, I mean, like a customers if you are giving it in a good shape and good quality. Growing type: fill a perforated seedling tray with compost. Use dibbler to make 266 impressions. Any impressions, any number based on the number of, I mean, size of the tray. You can make anything. This is a one type of Ben Houghton, Houtman system. Any type of system you can use. Only see the method utilized in that. Fill the impressions with 4 to 5 seeds using seeder, or by manually you can do that. If you are using it in a smaller area. Cover lightly with vermiculite. The tray will sit on a cafeteria trays for bottom watering, just to have dripping, like to have a drainage, keep it in a mesh area, or so that will create, keeping it in a dry area without having any pathogens. This system ensures great germination and good spacing, and this will help you to minimize the mold, because for microgreens, since you are eating, you are consuming it in like smaller stage itself. You should be always clear about pathogens. So that is very important. And there are other systems like tray also, 10 or 20 rows open flat system. You can see different size of type of items are coming now, and most of the things are like do it by yourself. People are keep on coming with new items. Waste materials are reproduced, or waste materials are being utilized for developing different systems for farming, home farming, everything. So you can, as you said, like sky is the limit. You can think about anything. Just understand the basic concepts, how it is being done. So that is the thing. So the way it can be done, you can think about in number of systems. Growing media, there are two thoughts. One is nutrient dense, and second one is like non-nutrients also. So media choice is one of the largest cost of production. When you go for high nutrients media, so maybe your cost of production will be very high. Since in India, it's a very, there is a limited scope only just started for microgreens. Mostly people are, trying to use microgreens for home consumption. People are, I don't know, maybe things have changing now, but now currently, these are like people grow it for yourself. We are not buying it from other, supermarkets and all much. Like in other places, but it's a growing, very highly growing area. We have to opt for the highest quality and low cost media with minimal nutrients. So that will save you money, and it doesn't need much nutrients also, because you, as we know, you are going to consume it in like 7 days or 10 days or 15 days. So that shows that it doesn't need much of the nutrients. So maybe unnecessarily adding nutrients will be a waste of money also. So those are all things. Initially you can do trials, find out your own idea, like whether it is good with nutrients or without nutrients, and how much cost you are incurring on that, and what is the market, and from where you are getting the market and your margin. Everything needs to be considered and standardized before you go in for a commercial process. And if it is in hydroponics, definitely you can do also, sort of fertilizer spraying. Or if it is like normal potting soils and all, it has got its own nutrients. So now there is no need for adding additional nutrients on that. And there is a type of biofelt. It's like a thin cloth type material. This can also be used. Just keep it on top of the media and then spread, put water and then spread the nutrients on that. So that this will be very, the microgreens will be clean and neat. So that will that creates a better look also, and customer will be more happy, if you are doing it with these kind of materials. And when it comes to commercial growing options, maybe associations or maybe friend circle, you can join together to do as in a smaller, like in a medium way, or maybe in a commercial way everywhere. So you can either use it, as per your, climate on your place. It can be either cooling greenhouses or without cooling greenhouses, heated greenhouses or non-heated greenhouses, whatever it is, based on your climate, your local climate, you can decide on that. It can, since microgreens can tolerate shade for some extent, any unused vertical space or whatever, you can use it for growing it, so that your cost of structure, everything can be reduced. And even when you are having a greenhouse, if you are using it for any other purposes, you can even think about utilizing the free spaces on that, so that make sure that it's all clean, neat, and hygienic condition. But if everything is good, then you can even think about utilizing your greenhouses, maybe your poly houses inside your house, or rooftop poly houses, or in your compound poly houses, whatever it is. You can even think about utilizing your current poly houses with other crops also. Growing indoor require additional investments, but if you don't have a transplant production greenhouse, this is where you must start. Now, if you are not having any other things, then maybe you can have some investments on indoor growing. Needed your bottom watering system and good air circulation to prevent fungal and mildew growth. And there are nowadays a lot of projects coming, especially in even in Gulf countries. I will show you some slides in that. We are producing it in containers. We call it as container farming or podponics. So as I said in the beginning, a lot of new technologies are evolving. You can't say, if you tell some technology as the latest technology, maybe tomorrow that is not going to be the latest technology. So things are changing in a very fast pace. So podponics is very important, because if you are doing it in bulk area, or even shipping, everything can be easy. Or that old your containers can be utilized also. So these are all items people are looking for, cost cutting and ease of operation, like that. Commercially, you can grow it in greenhouses. I'm just passing through fast. If it is a commercial one, just even if you are talking about commercial one, this is applicable to any other, even your home purpose use also. The method is applicable to all. Indoor, you can use LED lights. You can use LED lights. These kind of things will give more clean and neat produce, which is very important when you start selling. People will look for, from where it is coming. And if you are very confident about your, growing situation stages, you can even think about calling your customers. Like, if you're having a WhatsApp group for your microgreens grown, you can just call them and let them come and see your growing areas and, facilities, so that, they will get more confidence, because nowadays everybody is behind food infestation and infections and all kind of things. So better you can create your own customer teams, and then you can invite them to your growing area, let them come and see your growing area, so they will be very confident, and so that you can make sure that your team is always with you. These are the projects we were doing it in Oman. You can see we were doing it inside containers. We were doing a lot of microgreens, lettuces, everything. And it's a commercial project also. The conditions, light, indoor, lettuce, arugula, mustard, Asian greens, everything will grow good in light or low light, or even on shade. So if there's something are grown in, some items are grown in instead shade, you can keep it in shade. If something are grown in good sunlight, then definitely if you try to grow it on shade, it will be lanky and it will not look good also. Or even you can supplement lights with fluorescent lights or LEDs. And especially when you are growing it in a very heated area, you can even go look for air conditioning, or maybe fan and pad system if it is a commercial one, or maybe if it is in your home area, maybe a small area, you can convert and you can use it since it will be like shaded, and you can even control your temperatures. Air circulation is very important because it will create a lot of if it is not well aerated, definitely there is chance for fungus infestation. So that is very important to be noted. Well, when about growing microgreens outdoor, it can tolerate some shade. Growth changes with day length. Shade cloth may be necessary in summer. Can tolerate temperature up to 37 degrees centigrade, and it depends upon the types. And even less than 5 degree also it can tolerate, depending upon the type. Water, frost-free water for a greenhouse, or it's a must. Use a pathogen-free, highest quality water. You need to be very careful while using choosing your water, because since these items, these crops are harvested in very short time, you need to make sure that you fed them with the best quality water, because it is consumable. So definitely you should be very careful about water. And ideally without any what do you call, E. coli or any other microorganisms which are harmfully affecting. So water is a very important thing. And then coming to other management areas, make sure that water isn't pooling in your growing space. It should not, stagnant water should not be there. It will immediately damage the crop. Hand watering or automated irrigation or overhead sprinklers can be used based on the size of your project. Best is to have bottom watering, since leaves, if you start giving overhead sprinkler irrigation or anything, there are more chances that you may get fungal infestation. So best always you can go for bottom watering. That is the best option. And each micro or microgreen variety may have a different watering needs. So when you talk about water, that's the thing. And initially I told you we should be giving, taking a lot of initial research by yourself. It's not a big thing. You can research by yourself itself, and do some experiments to select the items, the crops, water needs, everything, before you go for like a commercial way of doing it. Harvesting, the main, before just going into the microgreens thing, as we said, like, we know a lot of things are very, very good and highly nutritious, and still we may not do that. Maybe the person who is talking much about that now, for example, like me, I'm not a very good fan of microorganisms, or microgreens. So it's all time now. Maybe now everywhere it is saying, okay, maybe we will also start doing it. So there are a lot of good things which we talk about, but which we may not do. So now it is time that we start doing it by ourselves. So that's a good thing. When coming to harvesting, prior to harvest, make sure microgreens are properly watered and not wilted. Because when you harvest and send your product, make sure that it reaches your consumer in a very fresh way. Determine when you want to harvest, because cotyledon stage, true leaf stage, as per your customer preference, you can decide on that. So you have to determine which stage you have to harvest based on your crops and based on your customer preference. And it is best to harvest in morning when it is not hot. It will create, it will keep your freshness always. So try to harvest. That is not applicable only for microgreens. For any other crops, better to harvest in morning time to keep your freshness. But it depends on how fast you are able to bring it to the consumer. That's the main thing. If you are not able to bring it in fast, maybe even you can think about harvesting it at night and transporting it at night to reduce your transportation cost and all. Then harvesting tools, scissors, harvesters, or any other new technology we can use. There are a lot of new technologies coming based on the size of the project. So you can get the details now. For everything you can Google it. So you will get the latest technologies, or whatever is the latest tools which can be utilized for your purpose. You can just take informations from different sources. And there are microgreen stands also. They are utilized like this to harvest it without just, you don't have to pluck everything and then remove the roots and all. There are stands which comes now. As I told you, there are a lot of technologies coming up, a lot of innovations coming up to reduce your work. and to make the product more fresh and easy, especially for home use and commercial cultivations. And another thing is like some growers wash it and some growers don't wash it. No, it depends upon how dirty your microgreens getting, then your marketing, because unnecessarily. See, if it is not required, no need to wash, because if you are sure about your quality of your facility, it's like, for greenhouses, and if you are growing producers inside greenhouses, you are not getting it mostly into mud and all. So you can even think about without washing also you can use it. And the food safety indications, like, and maybe your regulations will be there. Your current locality regulations will, if it is asking you to wash it, then you should definitely wash it. If not, you can decide based on your customer preference. And hydroponic growers may not need to wash greens because there is no soil. So maybe you can think about avoiding washing if you are using it with the hydroponic processing, or if you are doing it like with normal potting soils and all, maybe you can think about washing it. And then once it is washed, you can dry it. These are all like when we are talking about, you can dry it with any tools or any machineries. These are all for your commercial things. This can be you can if you are producing it in your house, then definitely you can do that in a very smaller way. Then you can pack it to bags or maybe clamshells or containers, depending upon your marketing strategies. And then the temperature can be, you can keep it like 32 to 36 degree Fahrenheit, which is like almost 0 to 2 degree temperature. That will enhance then quality and shelf life. You can keep it also, almost for 10 days, or more with that condition. But as always, people prefer to get it very, very fresh. That's the best way of doing it. So you can, if you are having a regular marketing, customer base, definitely you can do that on a regular basis, and continuously on a regular day basis, you can supply it. That's the best way of doing it. And since there are not much researches coming on the safety of microgreens, but there are a lot of researches coming on for sprouts. So it's a regularly updating area. So you can keep on updating on your safety indications and preferences, everything, regularly. And you can apply GAP procedures, good agriculture practices procedures, like now in India, even global GAP certifying companies are there. So here also in GCC nowadays, most of the companies and most of the hypermarkets are insisting on getting certified products. So you can go either for global GAP certifications or fair trade, whatever it is. You can go for certifications, so that why I'm talking about certification is like, even if you are not growing, going for certification in the beginning, start with the standards of certification, so that it will be easy for you when that some people or some supermarkets may come and tell on a fine day, like, no, now we want certified products. So be ready always. So grow it when you start something, grow it with the perfect way, do it in the correct way, do it like you're doing the best procedure always. So start with the best procedure, start with standards like follow your global GAP or like GAP procedures, everything when you start itself. So it will be very easy when to convert that when they are insisting on certifications. Do test of watering, sanitize trays and seeds, washing hands. Now everybody will be doing washing hands, sanitizing. Now people can easily understand what is the importance of sanitization and everything. Before, when you were talking about hydroponics or greenhouses or plant factories regarding sanitization, especially sometimes some visitors comes, they don't digest the thing. But now it will be easy for people to digest what the importance of sanitization and all. So take all measures when you do, crops. Do it in the right way. When doing microgreen marketing, you can sell it directly to the consumer, I'm again repeating, we are talking about urban farming. Urban farming is not doing it for your home purpose. It's doing for your home purpose plus creating additional income. That's why we are talking about even marketing also, just to brush up. Make sure that you get a correct marketing for that. Otherwise, you will be wasting the produce. So make sure that you get the correct marketing. You can talk with the restaurant chefs, or wholesalers or the retailers, and make sure that you get the correct proper what do you call market ready with you, so that it will help you to create to reach the customer with the best and the freshest microgreens in your hands. These are different ways of doing it. Either it can be potted, you can sell it like pots itself, you can sell it in clamshells, you can sell it in trays, like small pot trays, or you can even hydroponic type of microgreens can be sold in like individual sleeves. These are all different methods of marketing the microgreens. Pricing, you can, they are there. If you are presenting the best way, you get the best price. If your presentation is not that good, maybe you cannot claim for a higher price. So always try to make your presentation of the product and the quality, the superb, the best one, so that you can assure the best price and marketing in the field. And always, when you do commercially, always think about your cost of production. Wherever you can save your cost of production, saving in the sense, you should make sure that all your necessary activities or necessary measures are taken, but on unnecessary activities you can make sure that you make your cost savings, cost cutting, everything on that. As again, I'm not showing much about hydroponics, because on our previous many sessions hydroponics was totally covered. So we are not fully showing all the time hydroponics, because urban farming is not all about hydroponics. You can grow wherever it is possible, whatever facilities you are having, utilize that, even on your pots, on your water bottles, everywhere you can do that and try to utilize the maximum. Coming to salads. Salads also is a very important production, very important crop nowadays. Initially, we were just having a talk before we were going online. So people, most of the time people were not much heard about salads before, but now people are hearing about salads. People now microgreens, we can definitely say some people might have heard about that, but most of the people might not have heard about that. So salad is also a very important part of dietary thing, especially in Gulf regions. In most of the Arab food, there is a must for salads and microgreens, and then even herbs. To have a complete dietary thing, they always mix salads and other produce, and especially because most of their meals are with meat mostly. So in order to compensate, they always go for salads. So salads are like any leafy vegetables except brassica crops. We can call it as salads, leafy salads, crops which are harvested for leaf and petiole tissues. They are all called as salads. Common salad crops are like Amaranthus family. There are beet greens, chard, spinach, rack. Apiaceae family, they have celery, cilantro. Cilantro is like our coriander. Then parsley. And from Asteraceae family, there is chicory, dandelion, endive, then lettuce, radish. And there are some are from Brassicaceae family also, not cabbages and all. That arugula, watercress, this can be also considered in salad. Then Portulaca family, purslane and clatonia. So there are a lot of items now. We are not covering everything. and they are all coming under salads, which can be cultivated very in a good way for your urban farming. It's something about the history. We are not bothering about that. It's from, see, if you see the history, you can see mostly Arabs were following, salads in a higher area, higher rate, because mostly their food habits are like meat. They were consuming a lot of meat. So in order to compensate that, they were taking for salads, fresh salads, fresh vegetables, fresh herbs, everything was mostly consumed by the Arabs. So that is the main thing. It's coming from Egypt, Greece, every part of the world. And now in modern times, you can see salads are coming up in like ready to mix areas. So these are all your marketing areas where you can use this salad. So there are, we will be checking, dealing with a few of the major crops in salads like celery, different type of lettuces, and then spinach. Celery, if it is hydroponics, you can, the best way of growing celery is like ebb and flow. And if it is lettuce, you can use grow lettuce in NFT, DWC, deep water culture, drip system, by aquaponics, and same way, if you are using spinach, then you can better go with NFT, nutrient film technologies, deep water culture or raft culture, or aquaponics like that. So all these technologies have been dealt in the previous sessions. So these are the things. You can even grow it open fields in any available areas. You can grow it on your house on like trays or anything. Then you can even go out, grow those things like in your, like hydroponics, and hydroponics, when you talk about hydroponics, there are a lot of new small units, home garden units, medium commercial units, big commercial projects. So everything is available. Even you can think about, even in your online media, online marketing channels, a lot of these items are available nowadays. A lot of growing systems are available nowadays on hydroponics, on home scale productions, or even on medium scale productions, or even commercial production. So nowadays, there is a lot of opportunity for things, and you can choose your own, based on your condition, where you're going to grow, what you want to grow, what is your customer base. Accordingly, you can create design your own system and do it for your purpose. When it is in commercial, I'm just showing some photos for commercial thing. Celery, the conditions, climate conditions for celery, it's a cool season biennial. Okay, so you can and the soil requirement is like clay loam, or loamy soils. It can be even done in like good drainage areas, water holding capacity. This is when you are doing it in a field. But when you are doing it in hydroponics, most of the things, as you say, as we already discussed in initial sessions, like hydroponics, there are a lot of recipes available for different crops. So you can go for that, because basically the basic nature of production in hydroponics is same. Only thing is like your climate conditions and your fertilizer recipe changes. So accordingly, based on your crops, you can choose the nutrient recipes for all these types, and then you can grow it on that. Celery, normally, if you are producing it in like open areas, or then you can definitely go for transplanting. When it is 9-inch in row, 14-inch between the row, that is the space for plants. And irrigation, you can go for overhead irrigation, or furrow irrigation, or even drip irrigation. So any irrigation system you can follow. Always best to have a drip irrigation, so that you can save water. Even in hydroponics also, if you are doing it in troughs, you can go for like you'll be definitely going for drip irrigation, and you can even think about recycling your used water, so that you can save water also on that. When coming to the management, you get a lot of problems like diseases and all. So these are like, when you are growing it in a smaller area, definitely the best way is to not to use any insecticides or anything. If you are, that also again depends upon what way you are going to use it. Salads, if you are using it in like a commercial way, or if you are producing it as an organic production, so it depends upon the management. If it is organic production, you can use organic plant protection items. And also just the best way of doing it is like, if you see some incidents in the beginning, just pick and remove the infestation, so that it will not spread. So that way you can reduce use of any harmful chemicals and all, so to make it more healthier food. Because salads, microgreens, anyhow you are not using any insecticide or anything. Salads, maybe if it is essential, you can even think about using it. But since I said initially, following GAP is like good agriculture practices. You have a waiting period for plant protection things. If you are using, try to avoid 99%, don't use anything, because salads and all are very easily grown without any major problems. So try not to use any plant protection chemicals or anything. Try to make it like as safe as possible, all your salads. Your celery, you can see that it's a stem one. So the harvesting process, hand harvested, field grade, packed vertically into cartons. You can see a lot of packed items in supermarkets nowadays with salad. Like celery, they're all coming in. Directly packed from the field itself, or from your hydroponic unit, or wherever you're producing it. It comes in that way. And some special cuts are also available. So because some of the supermarkets ask for some different type of cuts, or like different sizes for their marketing. So according to the customer base, you can decide on your harvest stage and other things. And the cartons are cooled as soon as possible through forced air or hydrocooling. Cold storage, you can keep it up to 0-degree temperature also to get a higher storage time. But it can definitely, the best way of doing it is like regularly market it. The processing is like celery sticks are there, diced celeries are there. It can be used for soups or other cooked products. Coming to lettuces, when we talk about lettuces, lettuces are best suited for NFT system. And then the lettuces are NFT system, deep water culture. The photo which that I was showing just before was deep water culture. So lettuces are mostly through hydroponics, it can be done. But even in open fields, there are a lot of projects coming up. When your temperature is ideal, you can even grow lettuce, because if your temperature is less than like 28 or 30 degrees, definitely you can grow lettuce. Even up to 30-32 degrees, we are growing lettuce in open field also here in this region. So it is possible. Either you can grow it in hydroponic units, or if you can grow it in your available land. For example, like when you are having any community farming or anything, just grow it as a group, and then you can consume, and you can even sell it. The different type of lettuce are there. Head types are like iceberg lettuce, which is mostly used in burger and other things. And then Batavia type, which is leafy. Then butterhead types are there. Crisp head greens are there. And then romaine type is there, and then loose type of lettuces. So there are, lettuce is a vast area, and like a lot of different types of lettuces are there, like iceberg lettuce, Lollo Rosa, Freezy, oak leaf, butterheads. So a lot of lettuces are coming up now, and even loose leaf lettuces are also coming up, getting a lot of momentum nowadays. mostly adapted to cool climate. But at the same time, mostly it can even grow up to 30, 32 degree temperature also it can grow. If you are growing, I mean, if the temperatures goes beyond, then there is a chance for bolting. So you don't want the crop to bolt, and because bolting is like it will create seed, and it will try to go for the next generation when it is threatened. So don't grow it lettuces above 30 degree or 40 degree, I mean near to 30, 35 degree temperature, that will be a thing. But up to 30, 32 degree temperature, now it can be grown in open also. Of course, when you are growing it inside your hydroponic or greenhouse projects, you can grow that year round. Then germination, optimal germination temperature is like 70 to 75 degree Fahrenheit. And if it is above 85 degree Fahrenheit, then definitely you're going to get the inhibition of germination also. So temperature is important, not very, what do you call problematic thing in lettuce, but you can manage it very well. You will, I think in Indian climate, we can definitely grow a lot of different types of lettuces without with much easy effort. Even they are cold tolerant also, because when we are talking about India has all the climatic conditions available almost throughout the world, from Kashmir to Rajasthan, to Kerala or any other places. So you have all your climate conditions, like freezing areas, desert areas, temperate regions, forest areas, everything. So you have everything available in India. So when we talk about general topic in India, you have to cover everything in that way. So the lettuces are cold tolerant also. But when it is less than 50 degree Fahrenheit, the temperature, the growth stage reduces. And harvesting, usually, if you are harvesting in, if you are growing lettuces in hydroponics, you can save time, because you will be harvesting lettuces like 20 to 25 days, 20 days also, 20 to 25 days you can harvest based on your type of lettuce. If it is head types, okay, your harvesting will be delayed. And if it is, even if it is open field, you can grow and harvest lettuces in around 40 to 45 days. Or some of the lettuces even it will take 60-65 days in doing it. Lettuces are also having a lot of different pest attacks. As we said, if you're growing it in a smaller area, always try to collect it and remove the infestation. That's the best way of doing it. And when you are doing it inside greenhouses or your small hydroponic units, definitely these kind of incidents will not be much. But if you are doing it in open field, you may get all these type of pest incidents. So that should be controlled. Try to use mostly your organic components for getting the pest control. Because we all know, if it is not done in that way, definitely the customer preference will be affected. So try to use mostly your organic materials for plant disease control and everything, pest control and disease control, everything. We are not talking much about what control, what chemicals or organic materials we can use, because it depends upon country to country. The availabilities, your dosages, everything is depends upon country to country. But you can look for these kind of things for your local area, and then take necessary measures. When you grow lettuces in field, you will get a lot of problems like diseases also. Bottom rot, lettuce drop, leaf drop, gray mold, tip burn, anthracnose, and then even you can get tip burns will be there with calcium deficiency also, it can happen. So a lot of nutrients plus other fungal problems will be happening if it is commercially grown. So in all these areas, your fertilizer recipe, if it is you're growing it in hydroponics, definitely your fertilizer recipe is much important. Your climate control is very important for lettuces. Mostly all these kind of things will not be happening in hydroponic projects. Most of these problems are mostly seen in open field or field conditions. Different type of harvesting if it is open areas. Now mechanized things are there, but now when we talk about urban thing, definitely this cannot be done. But the way of harvesting it, you can even take for all these machineries or tools, there are miniature forms and miniature machineries coming up now. So that's why we are showing all these things. You can get every harvest tools based on your growing area. If you are growing it in wastelands, maybe in 2000 meters square area or 3000 meters square areas, we can do that by hand itself. And lettuce, once it is harvested, you can process it in different way of, there are different ways of processing lettuces. Field packed ones without any processing also can be done. And you can bag it, you can take individual leaves separately and then wash it, dry it, and then bag it so that you will get a better price and better market. And even nowadays, most of the companies are mixing different type of lettuces to make a salad mix. Then they sell it in clamshells or plastic packets as ready to mix salads. So that is a very good way of doing it, because nowadays people are all moving very fast. So it can be take away salad for your offices or your wherever you're working. You just take a salad and then while you're working itself you can consume it. So these are all very different type of marketing things, so that you can sell your products in a better way. Always try to keep lettuce in a high humidity for packing, because if you are not packing it in with humidity, then definitely you are going to lose your water, because lettuce, the main thing is minerals and water, nothing else in lettuces. For mostly the salads are especially the leafy salads, you get most of the leafy salads are water. Water is a major content on that. So you should not be losing the water. Once you lose the water, then you totally lose the freshness of the product. Then the customer may reject your product. Spinach. Also, you can grow it in hydroponics, you can grow it in greenhouses or small tunnels. Even on top of your rooftop, you can make a small tunnel, and then you do any of these salads or any microgreens, anything. You can even think about doing a small tunnels on top of your houses. We spend lakhs and lakhs on building houses, and then with that, maybe if you can spend some 50,000 rupees, or maybe I don't know exactly the prices now in India, but still up to 1 lakh rupees, you can make a beautiful small greenhouse structure on top of your house. It can feed yourself, plus also it can feed the community nearby, so that it becomes like a time pass for people who are mostly spending your time home. And then the same way it is like an income generation also for those. Spinach, usually here and all, they market it as leaf bundles or even loose leaves, or even frozen spinach are marketed. If it is grown in soil or in potting soils or any other media like that, it's a quick cool season crop. Germinates in 35 degree to up to 85 degrees. So you have a good variation, temperature variation. So it is ideal for any type of thing. It can grow with around for 3 to 5 degree temperature up to around 30 degrees temperature. So the temperature variation is very high. And it can even withstand frost. So maybe even in our cool areas in India, even in cool areas also, this can be done, and even in desert areas also this can be done. Mostly spinaches are now doing, they are directly seeded spinach, and they go for high seeding density, because since you are only using the leaves, so high seeding density has been utilized for that. And fertilizer application also, it depends upon place to place. And watering is a very important thing for spinaches, because highly saturated water can have a lot of diseases on that. Kind of moisture and a constant moisture level is important. You can't dry it and flood it in that way. So these are all important things, but these can all be controlled when you are growing these kind of things in hydroponics. That's the good way of growing it in hydroponics, because hydroponics are best for new type of crops, like lettuces, like microgreens, like herbs. So these are all like new technologies will be mostly coming for, like when with new technology invention, you will get a lot of new crop introductions also, because we were not doing much of herbs, microgreens and all in India. But with new technologies coming up, and especially with hydroponics and all nowadays becoming very user friendly, you can do most of the things you can see do it yourself is the concept for hydroponics. So that these concepts helps us to grow lettuces and herbs, everything inside your house or inside your premises, nearby your premises. So this all these problems, like whichever problems we were facing in field, can be controlled when you are growing all these crops inside controlled atmospheric, controlled hydroponic systems. When you grow in an open field, weed is a major problem. When you are growing inside a greenhouse or hydroponics, that is also controlled. So that is the important thing. Now that is why people are the new technologies of hydroponics are getting a lot of momentum nowadays in current stage, because all these problems, when you are growing in a field, because in our first session we were mostly dealing with hydroponics. That's why I'm now trying to compare the problems and the importance of why hydroponics are getting momentum nowadays. So all these type of problems, with weeds, everything can be controlled with hydroponic systems nowadays. And even in spinach also, you get a lot of pest and diseases. As said before, you can just try to remove the things infestation. That is the best way of doing it. For all these crops, better to be in the safer side. Don't use any chemicals or anything. Yeah, you can remove first, and then even if you are having a little bit higher, then go for like any organic control measures. That's the best way of doing it. In other countries, when it is grown in very high areas, like in big margin, like commercial scale, a lot of mechanical items are there. Why we are talking about these mechanical items are like now when you get a good land and everything, the best way is introduce mechanical thing. It's very big machineries, but nowadays very handy man-held smaller machines are there based on your requirement. You can take any type of harvest machineries, packing units, everything is available nowadays in the market. And when it's not only important to make a good product, it is always important to present it in a very good way and preserve it in a very good way, and make sure that your customer gets the best product from you, to have a repeat order always. That is very important. You can't give some product for a few days and then you can vanish. That is that is not possible nowadays. Maybe in very big project, sometimes it happens, but when you are doing it for your smaller areas, and when you are focusing on a small customer base, always do to try to get the best product from your side and present it in the best way to the customers. As possible, try to give it in the freshest form. When there are baby leaf salad greens also, lettuces are there. See, as we told, most of these things are like in your harvest stage differentiates your thing. When we call it as baby leaves, when it is smaller, when it is very small, we call it as microgreens or sprouts, some of the items. And when it goes to bigger ones, we call it as like lettuces, or I mean like any other salad crops like that. So these are all like differentiation. Some of the items, it's not all, but some of the items are specifically grown for that. But others are nowadays baby leaf concept is also coming up very good. Because most of the mixed salads companies, they use baby leaves, because you can mix different type of like spinach, lettuce, arugula, so that your nutrient compensation, or you get the best package for nutrients, so get everything together, and then you can can directly consume it. So baby leaf concept is getting a lot of momentum nowadays, especially for office people and all. Better to have it and keep it on your table whenever you do your own routine things. You can have these items along with that. So baby leaves are like young tender leaves for true leaf stage, and then the crops are like lettuces can be used for baby leaves, spinach, arugula, beet greens, kale, pak choy, radish, chicory. All these items can be used for baby leaves also. And to make more color, you can use arugula and other things mixed together, so that you get a mixed color. Like when you make mixed salads, you can your presentation, to improve your presentation, you can have mixed colors also in that. Like arugula will be like red color, so you can mix it with the other to make a good presentation on that. It's in open field. If it is in same way of microgreens, you can grow baby leaves also. And the main thing is like weeding is an important thing when you use baby leaves, because weeds will grow very fast, faster than your crops. So when you are using it in your open areas, like in your parking areas or in community areas, then always look for good soil preparation and all before, because you can't have weeds, because you are cutting it together. You cannot separate weeds. That is very important, because very difficult. Once you start separating weeds, it becomes like a big problem for you. And all these problems are eliminated in hydroponic system. The major grower challenges for this are like beetles, and main thing when you grow it in your open areas, the important problems are your weed pressure, because these are all very smaller crops with smaller duration, and your weeds grow faster than that, and mostly these are harvested together. So it will make a big problem for you to separate weeds from that. It takes a lot of labor from your side. Coming to aromatic herbs, people are now all behind super healthy foods now, and aromatic herbs is going to play a major role in doing this. And same way, as I said, like we are not going to. We have time constraints, so we are not going to take how these crops are totally grown. Hydroponics, as I said, always hydroponic has got a normal these are all, it can be easily grown in NFT. This can be easily grown in DWC, and with aquaponics also you can grow herbs. You can grow it in pots, because nowadays potted herbs are getting a lot of momentum, so that they can take it home. You can keep it for like a few months, like 1 to 2 months. You can keep it home, and you can even keep it on your kitchen, so that you can take whenever you want. You can take fresh herbs all the time. So that is a new concept coming up in most of the places, which will be, if you can adopt to that potted herbs concept, and definitely you get a better market on that. In as with other crops, even in aromatic herbs also, based on the customer choice, try to bring the freshest product to the customer. And the good thing is with urban farming is like your customer base is always going to be your nearby area. So the good thing with urban farming is that you can always give them the freshest product, and that is the best also. Your competitions will be mostly coming from rural areas or high production areas, and they will have a lot of transportation losses, damages, freshness, losing freshness, everything. When you are growing it in your small areas in your in your urban area farming, definitely the advantage for you is like you can bring the best and the freshest product to the consumer. And always guarantee healthy and safety products. That is very important. Once you lose your customer base, then definitely it is going to be very difficult, because since these are all like food items, always try to get the best product and a healthy and safe product to the customer. And transparency in your all operations are very important. You can even promote your small areas, because your customer base will be your non-people most of the time. So you can even promote them to come and see your areas, how you're growing everything. And continuous improvement and feedback on your procedure is always important for to get a best market on this. And different crops which are grown under, especially on herbs. In worldwide, the mostly used herbs is like basil, the sweet basil or the Italian basil type of things. This is grown mostly through hydroponics throughout the world, and this is the most utilized herbs when you compare to all other herbs. And the main thing is like awareness about herbs, awareness about your microgreens, awareness about leafy salads is very important for getting a best good marketing. Because nowadays people, if people knows the importance of that, definitely people will buy. The problem is that people don't know. Even when we were keeping our products, because we are doing potted herbs, and when we are keeping our products in markets, most of the time when we are talking about these, people don't know how to use it. So when you prepare, when you plan for your marketing, always try to see that you get, you will have your brand or whatever you are keeping on the products. Definitely make sure that you get some website, and in that website keep link of different type of recipes which can be used for for that particular herbs. So that will help people. Oh, okay, this can be used for this. Okay, then that way that consumption will be coming more. So that is very important, because most of the time the problem with the marketing on these type of crops are like awareness. People don't know why it is used, or how it is used. People have seen that, but people don't know why it is used. People think that okay, maybe it's a European items, maybe it's a different countries items, so only those people use. We don't know for what purpose we are using it, so we are not using it. That's the thing. So always make sure in your presentation or in your branding, keep a website thing, and keep recipes, available recipes with that, and that will definitely help to improve your acceptance of your products with your customer base. The other herbs are like chives, allium type. This is very important. This is very much used, especially in Gulf regions. People are all using it. Again, as I am telling, like, since we are telling that this is used in this part of the country, it can definitely be used in any part of the country. The reason is that people are not exposed to those kind of things. That is the reason. So our major duty is to just to expose people for these kind of crops. That is also very important. Make them aware about the importance of that, because you can see that grown for I have given the purposes also, why it is used. Anti-cancerous properties are there, sleep and mood control properties are there. So it's a good for source of vitamin, good for eye health. So a lot of nutrients and a lot of health benefits are there for these microgreens, salads and herbs. But unfortunately, people don't know about that. That is the reason there is a limited market on that. So the best thing is like, just try to create a lot of awareness first. Once you create that awareness, definitely these crops are going to be the future crops, no doubt about that. Because without these, people, especially in that present region of like the disease and pandemics and all, definitely people are going to be more food safety, health safety conscious. So this plays a major role on that. So when it comes to herbs, producing herbs is very easy actually, because you can even take it small seeds, germinate it, and then place it in pots. There is no rocket science on producing herbs. The main problem is that marketing is important thing in in herbs. Producing is very easy. You don't even have to produce it in like a good hydroponic system and other things. You can even produce it in a small pots, like 8 centimeter, 9 centimeter small pots. Bring it into a very good cluster, and then you can sell it. So these are the items nowadays coming up. So producing is not the problem with these kind of crops. The important problem is your market. People are not aware of that. So before producing, just make sure that you have a good market with you or a good customer base with you. Otherwise, you will be like, you produce and then, you can't sell. That will be the situation. So make sure that you have a best customer preference base with you all the time. Then parsley is also, just see the importance of these herbs. The parsley is also rich in antioxidants, rich in nutrients, bone health. It supports bone health, rich in cancer-fighting substances, rich in nutrient protecting for eyes, everything. So all these type of herbs, like these are all like rich source of healthy elements for you. But unfortunately, people don't know about that, and that's the reason people don't use about that. And different type of parsleys. I mean, like, there are 20, 30, 40 types of micro herbs. I mean, like herbs which are aromatic herbs which are being utilized in use now. Some are very important. I mean, especially coriander, parsley, mint. These kind of items are very famous among even in India also. But other items are a little bit getting momentum only nowadays in India. Dill also, Anthurium graviolensis. It's also rich in antioxidants. It helps in lowering the blood sugar levels. Antibacterial properties are there. Good for bone health. Nowadays, with what do you call it? This COVID, lot of herbal preparations. People are preparing a lot of herbal preparations to make immunity and or make like a regular for getting the regular uses. So at least nowadays people just started googling the importance and the health benefits of all these type of things. So that is the first stage of getting a good marketing. So things that things are getting into that. So this is the early stage of developing this segment in farming. Especially these are very important things in urban farming, because the ease of production, this is very important thing. You are easily you can produce all these kind of things. That doesn't require much of your expertise on that. And then the main good thing is like your disease and pest pressure is very less when you are doing it in urban farming, especially in your areas, because your production units will be very smaller. So these are all important things, when you go for this. So now it is a very good platform to start all these businesses because there is a good future market coming for all these products. Then other garlic chive. This is also very important. Where they are used in many of the things. I have given one example. I will just say there is a what do you call website in which they give you the recipes. A lot of recipes can be done on that, because once you share the slides with the people, they can check that. There is a website we have. It's like a sample website only. Any website you can go for. Like, there are a lot of company websites which give you the best recipes, for which this can be utilized. So go for that, and then you'll be surprised to see how good you can use this even on your daily routine activities and daily routine food products. Then other items are like lemongrasses and herbs. And then mint, which is very important. Mint is very important, for directly consuming it with meat, with your salads, or with with tea or coffee, whatever it is. So these are all good marketing opportunities coming up for type of herbs. And even oregano. Oregano is also, as I told, production activity. I am not mentioning much because that is like normal, same for almost all the herbs. But we are just trying to show you that different types of herbs are there, and try to promote herbs also. That is very important. It's a as a social responsibility also, that is important. And an agricultural graduates or agriculture students also, that is important. It will help people for saving their developing their health habits. At the same way, it is an opportunity for you people also. Rosemary is also very important one. Very difficult to grow with seed, but very difficult, easy to grow with the cuttings. Just put you can get the cuttings and just put it in water. It is very easy to develop. So these are all crops which are very important, have a very good market. Once people start utilizing it, definitely you're going to get a very good market for all these items. Then thyme also very important one, very good flavor, aroma, and very good in along with meats. It can be utilized with meat so that it helps in tenderizing the meat also. So the main thing, as I keep on discussing, lack of knowledge on health benefits of all these kind of items, like microgreens, herbs, and what do you call salads. That is a major limiting factor for marketing, and that is a major limiting. Once you don't have a good market, then production is a problem. So that is the reason people are not much going behind this. But make sure that you get a good awareness about that. Definitely, it's a booming market. This is definitely is going to be a booming market, and so apart from producing it, that is our responsibility to have a good awareness about all these products to the public. And again, another one is like, even if people are aware about their health benefit, people are not aware about how to use it, how to incorporate that into different recipes. So by creating a lot of recipes and by promoting a lot of recipes also, people will think that most of the things we don't know how this can be used or with what it can be used. People think that with only continental items this can be used. No, this can be used even as salads, even of any other things. This can be used. So that is, I think, and in general, I can talk about, these salads and, herbs, and even with our salad herbs and microgreens. So thank you very much from our side. Thank you, Mahatma Phule Krishi Vidyapeeth also, and thank you, CAST, for giving an opportunity for this. Now it's open for discussion.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Very nice presentations and very informative lectures. Today's topic, cultivation of microgreens and herbs and salad for urban gardens and its management. Very good part covered all activities of management and cultivation practices like temperatures. So all contents you covers very good. Thank you, sir. So
Manohar sir, it is extremely impressive information, and this is what we wanted to know. And you really changed the mindset completely about looking at urban farming. So thank you very much for such a informative lecture, and you gathered all the information for all of us. So thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So Khamkar, shall we go for open discussion?
yes,
I think Dr. Dhedia is also here. Namaste, sir. Dr. Chetan Dhedia.
Hello, Chetan.
Is he here, Dr. Khamkar?
Yes, hello.
Here, but I'm not.
Hello to everyone.
Hello, sir.
Hi.
Hello. Thank you very much for joining this session.
Yeah.
And I'd like to introduce you
Chetan,
with
how are you?
Mr. Murali Manohar. You may be knowing him already.
Yeah, we know.
So,
We know.
Now I know Mr. Murali. In fact, he has got a lot to discuss. He's got plenty of practical ideas. He's earned each and every knowledge by rubbing his hands on each and every plant. So unfortunately, the time was the constraint. He was always telling me that it's very, very difficult to put everything on one slide and fit it in. But I guess still he has tried. He has managed it very well. I'm really happy with the presentation, and I hope to hear him again and again and again.
yes.
Thank you.
So
Thank you, Chetan.
for the information of all participants, I'd like to tell you that Mr. Chetan Dhedia is a founder and CEO of Mrs. JJ Overseas, Mumbai.
Yeah.
And he is in, for last so many years, he's in the business of high-tech agriculture since 1995. And he has started developing his own 500-acre farm in the arid desert climate of Kutch, Gujarat, for open field cultivation of grapes, pomegranates, strawberries, many such fruits. And also he's using rock wool as the growing media, fan pad system, climate control system, and ECPH based control systems. With all the modern technologies, he is already in high-tech agricultural profession from 1995, and he has a very good professional experience in all this. So I invite him for open discussion, as well as I see Dr. Bhaskar Rao is also here. Dr. Bhaskar Rao is, namaste sir.
Hello, ma'am.
Yeah, namaste sir, namaste. Hello sir, hello sir. So he's a Chief Agronomy Officer and Managing Director at Vegetech in United Arab Emirates. So I welcome you, sir. And Dr. Bhaskar Rao is also having almost 25 years of field experience in agricultural crop production, hydroponic project development, management in highly arid and desert conditions of the Gulf. And he is also individually handling large projects in the Middle East. And he has immense knowledge as a grower, and he is also a trainer. He conducts seminars, workshops, trainings for students, for agri aspirants in UAE and India, and also conducts farm internal audits for global GAP, BRC, LEAF, MARC. So he's really a great professional in this field, and we all are very, very fortunate to have these all professionals coming together on the panel during this session. And I like them to request to please participate in this open discussion part of the session, and please give some added knowledge to us, to all the participants.
Rao sir, nice to meet you in this platform, sir.
Hi, Murali. How are you?
I'm
Great
fine,
to see
sir. How
you.
are you?
We are just, I think, 450 kilometers apart.
Yeah,
In the same time zone. Nice to see you, and it was a very great presentation.
Sir, thank you, sir.
Yeah, I just cannot
And
say that,
Dahiya
you
madam
need
is
to.
also here. If you all know, Dahiya madam is already here. So
Yeah.
she is also a very knowledgeable professional. She is running some 160 academic programs in her university. She's a vice chancellor of the Women's University in Jaipur, and she's already engaged as consultant in the high-tech agriculture. So she's also there. So I request all of you to start.
Bhaskar Rao sir, namaskar.
Namaste, ma'am. Namaste. कैसे हैं आप?
Maria, very nice to see you on this platform. Waiting for your
My pleasure.
informative
My pleasure.
knowledge.
One of my close associate was giving a lecture today, so I thought, okay, let me also join in. I
Yeah.
heard him yesterday, but I was not able to join because I was preoccupied. So I thought I'll make it today.
And we
Yeah,
really
thank you.
enjoyed the session today. Wonderful.
Wonderful
It was.
session, really.
Yeah.
So as you said, it is necessary to change the mindset, especially in urban areas of India, about the diet, increasing awareness about various herbs, various salad crops, and then introducing those into the diet of the urban community. That is more important. Means developing the market is more important before we actually start cultivating.
Yeah, I think the here madam can be madam can be giving more inputs on this, because she hails from an area where which people can't live without salads.
Yes. Actually, even here, you see, Jayashree ma'am and other participants, it is very difficult in India to get. Of course, nowadays we are getting some varieties, but it has been very difficult. I lived in this country for 40 years plus. And as a student also, I used to grow in small bottles and pots in my room, because I always used to search for them and never found them. So for us, eating food without salad is like not drinking water the whole day. So we go dehydrated and we are like fasting.
Yeah.
So, but I'm very happy that these days in India, the entrepreneurs and many renowned personalities and expertise, like all the speakers, like who are here today with us, all the expertise and corporates also who have come into this growing hydroponics, growing urban farming, vertical farming, and growing salads and herbs. So even I'm so happy to see that Government of India initiated this Ayush ministry, so that people will be more aware that there are n number of herbs and medicinal plants which can be consumed along with their diet for bringing about their increasing their immunity and also reducing some of the diseases which can really be slightly avoided. I can't say control, but avoided, because I'm not a doctor to say that control. We need prescriptions from the medical doctors, of course. But with the bringing back the science of traditional medicines and Ayurveda and medicinal plants, which look like herbs, many of them, they play a vital role in health system of Indian population, because in Indian diet, uh, their consumption of proteins, or maybe more the consumption of starch is more, but as far as fiber in the form of raw herbs and raw salad is very, very less and limited. Even the consumption of fruits is very limited. So you see many at times we suggest that so many grams of fruits and vegetables have to be consumed. But you see majority of the population is either because of the economical background, because of some social myths, because of cultural problems, so many things, or maybe not availability of any kind of produce. They are unable to consume raw fruits and vegetables and also herbs and medicinal plants. So once you talk of medicinal plants, everybody thinks we are talking only about amla, we are only talking about aloe vera, we are only talking about ashwagandha, but no, there are
Actually,
n
we heard
number
about
of
only that. That's the
yes,
thing.
there are n number of herbs which are medicinal. All these herbs are actually medicinals. So as I was mentioning earlier in the morning, that when I grow them for the students, so the students were surprised, and our labor and people were surprised how to eat them. How can you eat them like that? You have to cook everything. And in Indian dietary system, by overcooking and overuse of oil and
We are losing.
spices,
We are
we
losing.
kill the plant. Actually, we are criminal. In that way, we are criminals for reducing the nutrients and the minerals and the value of what we are eating. So we are actually eating the wastage. We are not eating the food.
Rahul
So
sir, Rahul sir, actually, in fact, in my session today, I was not promoting much of high technology, because the problem is that if we start promoting for, especially for urban farming, people think that, this is something which we are not able to do that. It needs like a lot of expertise. Actually, some of the things like, they should come out and, start doing it and see it. Because, most of the thing is like when we talk about hydroponics or anything, we always shows them the big pictures of like our greenhouses and everything, and then people always thinks that okay, this is something we can't do actually. So that is one of the reason people back up from that also. That's why today I just tried to make them like this can be even without structure, or even without like high technology also you can do that. But I think definitely Rao sir can make a good, side onto that, because I know your expertise, sir. So you can just
yes,
brief it on that also, the high technology behind this also.
Yeah, the high technology behind it is, that requires a lot of investment. Basically, when you talk of hydroponics, when you talk of commercial farming, when you talk of indoor-vertical farms, LED-assisted indoor-vertical farms. So, as you said, the basic information was given to you in a very nice way today, so that people understand, people are aware of the materials that are available within their premises. It could be in their backyards, it could be in their college fields, or it could be in any other place, even in their own houses. So it's not a big thing that you need to have a lot of technical expertise, as Mr. Murali was pointing out. For doing it commercial, yes, you need to have a huge a huge background of growing the crop. It should be highly data driven. It is high tech, advanced, and all that stuff, with a lot of controls, a lot of assistance from the IoT. But the basic thing is, all this will help you in creating that type of climate or temperature or atmosphere or humidity. But it is the grower. It is basically the agricultural graduate who is having little of exposure and knowledge and gained his experience through field work or anything, and by his studies of plant physiology and plant pathology and entomology and whatever, he can put in those and then grow the crop. So it is like, even yesterday I was hearing Mr. Murali was saying that you are given a Ferrari and you cannot drive. It's like that. So you need a driver to drive, and the driver is the grower. The grower is to be having a very good agricultural background with good knowledge, basically, of all the plant, all the things which I have studied during all the 4 to 5 years of his curriculum. So that plays an important role. So that's what I just wanted to put in one more point, Mr. Murali, that I understand that you are in this part of the world. We are all here. So the unit of measurements, what you have been using in your slides, should be changed to the British system, I believe. Like you're talking of temperature, Celsius, you're talking of Fahrenheit and pounds and all that. So that will not, the guys there will not connect properly. So I understand your presentations are usually for the international standards. So, I just wanted to, because even I was confused looking at the Fahrenheits. So, the Indian students and will be, more better connected to this type of system. That's it. Rest of things, perfect. Alhamdulillah, everything good.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
So I think Dr. Kamkar.
There is one participant who want to ask one questions. Miss Dr. Siddhi Juikar, Mumbai. Please ask your question, Siddhi.
Hello. Hello. Good afternoon, sir. My voice is audible?
Yes.
Yeah, very nice session, sir. Thank you very much for information. I would like to ask one thing. If we want to commercialize a product of this microgreen or any hydroponic thing, so what could be the mandatory certificates we must have, and any specific guideline or site to get it done and market? Please guide us.
Yeah, actually, see, initially for growing salads or herbs and all, you don't have to have any certifications, to be frank. But the main thing is like, certifications will help you once you go for, like a commercial production. The certifications will help you to get a good marketing, scope. So that is the reason, you can, but nowadays, as I told you, nowadays certification and food safety is becoming more important. So supermarkets, have started asking for global gap certification, which is good agriculture, globally accepted good agriculture practices. So that makes sure that, your product is coming good. And then maybe you can even go for organics, because organics is also a word now people will be, interested to hear about. So you can even go for organics thing. So the main thing is like, if you are doing it in a smaller, in your locality, then always go for your requirements. Like, your customer base will be there and their requirement is most important. But at the same time, there are a lot of certifications like global gap certifications are there. Organic certifications are there, HACCP certifications, ISO. You can even for your from where the product is coming. If it is coming with a hygiene area, so for those kind of things, you can even go for HACCP certifications. So all these are options for you to get a better margin and to get a better market for that, especially when you go for a commercial project.
Okay. Sir, and any specific site where we can get this type of guidelines regarding the same?
See, if you can go for like, global gap and all, directly, they have their own sites. They say their technology, their specifications, their way of operating, where you can contact, how you can get them certified. Everything is given on that.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Actually, ma'am, I think Chetan sir wants to get unmuted and say some things. Please.
Oh, sorry. Dr. Kamkar, please unmute Chetan sir.
Hello, sir. Please continue. Please continue, Chetan sir.
Sorry, sir. Sorry.
Unmute. Hello.
I think Bhaskar Rao sir is also muted. You're muting many people.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yes. You're
okay. Okay. So, Mr. Murali,
Yeah.
Through these microgreens, we sold it in the market.
Mhm.
But the biggest issue that we found was the keeping quality. So can you throw some light on how to increase the shelf life of these products at the store level, or even from the transportation from the farm to the end consumer?
Yeah, Chetan, actually, when we talk about, many of these products, especially perishables, the important thing is like your cold chain from the production area till the marketing, till it gets the consumer is a very important thing. Wherever you break it, then immediately you get a problem. So that is one good thing. If you produce it under hydroponics, your growing condition also is going to be very good.
True.
So you start your cold chain from the greenhouse itself, or maybe if it is a protected area, or if it is a plant factory, you start your cold chain from the production area itself. But when it is open field, you start your cold chain from after packing.
Yep.
So the good thing is, like, if it is a product which is coming from hydroponics, I think you will definitely get a better shelf life.
Okay.
So the main issue is like, make sure the chain is not breaked anywhere, because even it can break because your transporter, if he is not sure about that, it can break the chain. And we had even the problem is that some of the time people will start mixing it with normal what you call vegetables. Normal vegetables, you can go up to 8 to 10 degrees centigrade, whereas if you keep these herbs, especially potted herbs and all, and that temperature, it may you may get frost injury. So these are all the problems which should be very important. So the main thing is like, ideally keeping all your cold chain till it reaches the consumer is the most important thing.
Right. True. Yeah, that's very important point, that cold chain has to be managed, and even the retail stores, most of them do not follow this, and hence the material doesn't last for more than maybe hours sometimes in many places.
That's
So
the
that's
thing.
one experience, that whenever you all are selling to anybody, make sure that the cold chain are mentioned in the packing list. Whenever you're packing anything, make sure that it is mentioned on the packaging itself. That will help.
And even using it in clamshells and all, apart from making it in wrapped or something, that also will be far better.
True. And one more thing that I tried was successful was that I dipped the plants in hydrogen peroxide with nanosilver base, and
Like
that
a sanitizer.
to extend my life, because it helped me to kill the spores and give me a disease-free product also for a longer period.
Good.
So that's also one thing.
Khamkar Dahiya madam unmute kara.
Yes, madam.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, no, you were muted, so I thought maybe
Yeah, because
Rouser
I
is
wanted,
there. Rouser
actually,
also be
I
asking
wanted
you.
that to hear Chetan sir, because then I thought there will be a lot of pressure. That's why I got muted. So, but yes, he's right. The only problem which commercially can be faced for microgreen and herb is the cold chain. But under the urban small scale, when we talk of home consumption or home consuming or a small scale, then simple refrigeration at the fridge temperature for about a week's time in the ziplock packets with perforated ziplocks. We found that it is successful for home consumption. I'm talking, not for the commercial thing. So it did a very good result. We got a good result. Even after a week, we could consume it fresh.
Right.
And preferably under the refrigeration, not in the freezing. And of course, some of them can be frozen also, like parsley, chive, dill. If you clean freshly and wash properly, dry properly, and then get them freeze, so their shelf life increases by about a week to 15 days, depending on your consumption level, how fast you want to consume it. So they remain as fresh as it's good to consume them. We do sometimes this practice.
Okay. One last question, sir.
Okay.
Recently, there was food poisoning in microgreens due to salmonella in Canada. So
Yeah.
how to overcome such problems?
See, that is the one thing when you grow it in, I mean, like in a field, open field. That's the first thing I told you. Like, you know, your source of water, your source of nutrients, everything is very important, because you know it happened even for salad. I mean, if you remember, you know, a few years before, there was a salad. I mean, there was an outbreak of the same way. It started in Spain also. So that was coming from manuals. You know, they were using some manuals, and it was coming from that. So that is very important. You know, when you select the places, you know, mostly these kind of things, you know, comes from, because, and that is an important thing in even in urban area, because you know, you will have a lot of human waste and other things. There are chances. So that is important. So that is why people are now slowly changing into hydroponics facilities, so that you know all these kind of problems can be solved on that. The source of water, the source of manures, everything can be, needs to be very clearly identified. Don't use items which are cheaper. Maybe people will give you cheaper water or maybe cheaper fertilizers. Don't go for that, because it's a food item. That's the thing I have from the beginning itself I was mentioning. It should be very clean, neat, and the source should be totally identified.
Mr. Murali, one more question I have is that with the UV A and B spectrum, I think though we have a separate session on the LED lights, but I just wanted to have your experience on the taste and the quality of the microgreens and herbs with the exposure to UV A, B, and A or B light.
Yeah, now I think if Rao sir is here, I think he can give a better insight on that, because you know he's doing that. Because nowadays in Japan and all, you know, they are coming up with changing even the nutrients inside the plant with the different type of LED lights, LED spectrum.
Wow.
So that is coming up now. No, they can increase some nutrients, and they can reduce the nutrients inside the plant itself. No, inside the salads itself. By giving different type of LED spectrum. So that is very important. You know, see that technology is developing like very fast, and when it goes to, because you know, as I told you, the commercial projects are like very highly costly. It's like, you know, very costly. So the investments are very high. So you need to be, even on your minute aspects should be taken care of. That is the pressure on the grower also. When it is in a higher commercial growing system, the pressure will be on the grower, just not to miss any session. Like, you know, even he has to continuously thinking about, okay, how to improve your market, because competitions are coming up regularly. And you know, especially now after COVID, you know, the major market is like HoReCa, like hotel and restaurant industries, which have got a big hit now because of this COVID. So competition is coming up, especially in commercial projects. But then you need to be very updated. And you know, your question is the main thing. As I said, like there are different spectrums which can improve your quality on different aspects. Okay. So that you can specialize it. You know, you can even go for like, this is particularly used for this type of people. You know, this requirement of people. So you can market it specifically on that.
Yeah, because I was talking to the technical team of Osram, and they told that specific lights are giving specific taste to different herbs and sprouts. That's why that will be an interesting session to have one someday.
Definitely.
Sorry, I just wanted to add here. You know, we are experimenting basically with the lights, with the PR, and with the nutrient content. So we are trying to manipulate these parameters and enhance the quality of the product by fortifying the leafy greens. It could be spinach. We are trying with spinach and kale. We have tied up with Manipal Institute of Higher Education here in Dubai campus. So we are doing an experiment to enhance some of the nutrients, especially say, for example, to fight childhood obesity, looking into the present situation here in UAE, childhood obesity, and we are also checking on type 2 diabetes. So what are the foods that help in, you know, inhibiting these diseases? So that could be implemented while you are giving nutrition. You could increase some of the nutrient contents, or you could manipulate it with LEDs. So that experiment is going on. And regarding the taste or the quality and all that, there is no any difference. because we don't have any research papers on that, but our clients are consuming it and there is no other issue from the market because we are into commercial production. We are supplying to Horeca. So if there is any sort of issue, we will not be able to sell. So I don't think there is any sort of change in the texture, in the taste, or in the color, and it enhances rather.
But it enhances the biostimulants.
Exactly, perfect.
Yeah,
True,
correctly.
true. That's what we are trying to work out with the university now. We just had concluded a MOU last week. So from the next week, we'll be starting off these experiments with them, and then the papers will be public then.
Right. Very nice.
Very much, sir.
Good. Where are the questions?
Okay.
Dr. Khamkar?
Sir, end of question, sir. Or I
They
permission
must
to
have typed the questions in chat window, and we will communicate all these questions to Manohar sir, for which we will get the answers for the participants.
Right.
So thank you very much for all the panel members helping us to understand more about urban farming. So I give it to Dr. Khamkar now for ending the session.
Great.
Yes, madam. Thank you.
Thank you all very much.
Thanks.
Thank you to
Today-
the entire team of CAST for organizing such wonderful sessions. Really fantastic.
Yeah. Sir, by
Definitely.
now we have completed almost, this is 30th training program. This one is international, but national and international, we have completed almost 38 training programs.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
12 webinars by now. One is going on right now currently. And so we tried to, because of this COVID-19 situation, people were at home most of the time, even the faculty in our university. So we took this advantage. Most of the time when the colleges are running, that time the faculty don't get that much time. So
Correct.
we tried to, bring training programs in different innovative areas in which the faculty will be benefited. And we made it like national and international, like whoever wants to attend along with our faculty and students. So we made it open to all.
No, it's good to see.
And even the panel selection was very good, madam. So no, with the topics, you're selecting the good guys, I mean, right people, to have a discussion on that.
Yeah,
That
thank
is
you,
also
sir.
important
Thanks.
thing, because Rao sir and all, we know for a long now. So very, very experts, very good persons to give right to this type of subjects.
And we are really fortunate to have you, all of us, accepting our invitations and taking out time for that, preparing very good presentations. So really we are very fortunate, the CAST team, and it's fortunate because of the experts. So this is our first attempt in starting the training program in urban farming. We are also starting a PG diploma in climate smart agriculture and water management, where the horticulture and protected cultivation, this urban farming is going to be one of the module. So in future also, we will require your help, as Dr. Gorantiwar told you, that even course curriculum development is one part where we look forward to seek your help, because we want to make it really a commercial type of, or where the student will go out and start his own business.
That is
That
very
kind of
important. That
course
is very
curriculum,
important.
we are, that is
You
our
need to
goal.
wait for
And that's why,
5 to 10 years, like a doctor, to become a good grower. They can, once they are out of the college itself, they should be a good grower.
yeah. So this is going to be 1 year PG diploma. And I told Dahiya madam that from all 3 streams, like social science stream, a student can come and complete this PG diploma, or from application part, like BSc agriculture student can come and complete the diploma, or engineering student can come and complete this diploma. So for social science student, it will be more about adopting the different technologies of climate smart agriculture and water management. For the BSc agriculture student, it will be more about applying these technologies in the field. And for the engineer student, how to develop or advance all these technologies further. So this type of PG diploma we are designing. We are almost completed the initial part, and we will look forward to get your help in developing the course curriculum.
Always welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you, madam. Today's eminent speaker, Mr. Murali Manohar sir, very nice informative lecture. Thanks for coming. And I would like to thanks to our organizing secretary, Dr. J.S. Patruta madam, and I would like to thanks to Dr. Sunil Gorantiwar sir, principal investigator and convener of this international online training. And also thanks to Dr. Mukund Shinde sir, co-principal investigator, CAST project, MPKV Rahuri, and special thanks to Chetan Dedia sir, Bhaskar Rao sir, and Ruya Dehiya madam. Um, and also thanks to all participant, national and international institute and different organizations who are listening very well, and all participants. Thank you. And one notice, all the participants are requested to submit the quiz link after end of session within 30 minutes. With the permission of organizing secretary, I conclude this session.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.